One day I told my mom that a boy in my class, who was particularly tiny for his age, didn't eat his cafeteria lunch tray again. She thought it was odd and asked me to see if he ate the food he was given the next day. He did not. My mom contacted my teacher and asked them to notice if he ate lunch at school. After some effort, he would eat some parts of his lunch, but only in small bites. It turns out he was hungry, too hungry to eat too much at one time. Thankfully, he started getting the backpacks offered by the Brazos Valley Food Bank, and things started to get better for him.
And one of the things that they will absolutely pick up on very, very quickly is when they're in a situation where they don't know where their next meal is coming from, or they don't know if when they get home from school for the weekend if there's going to be anything to eat in between Friday and Monday. The questions of will there be enough for me are things that they absolutely will pick up on.
But some experts even claim food, that's a staple school supply item. So we get carried away, right, back to school shopping. We're looking for fun pens and fun pencils, notebooks, that elusive yellow folder with both the pockets and the brads, right? But food, that's the necessity.
Senior poverty and senior hunger, they go hand in hand. In 2016, 4.9 million Americans over the age of 60 were food insecure. This constitutes 8% of all seniors. So the food bank's senior bag programs get supplemental bags of nutritional, low preparation foods into the households of low-income seniors who may be going without.
These are our neighbors. I think we kind of forget that because like we've all kind of been talking about the different things that we do without thinking about it, getting up or leaving work and just hopping to the grocery store really quickly. That's a thing that a lot of people can't do. But these mobile food pantries allow them that access to the healthy food.
Teresa actually told us about a client of the food banks named Charles McKay. And Charles has this story where 6 years ago, he fell off of a 6-foot ladder and he landed right on his back. So ever since then, Charles has been considered disabled and rightfully so. So he's living off his disability checks, but those disability checks, for anybody who's ever been on one, boy, they just barely cover the bills. And they don't especially cover the food that he needs, and in those food deserts, certainly not the nutritious meals that he needs.
And I think that's a good.
Yeah, and some of the things that they've given us information on the Brazos Valley Food Bank, they serve our neighbors in need, and of those neighbors in need, we've learned some pretty staggering statistics about their health.
When I was living in Korea on a poverty, I was eating just to live. God has blessed me to have a business and education where I now can live to eat. But if you could really help us and donate to Brazos Valley Food Bank.
Take diabetes, for example. Their sugars get out of control. They go into diabetic ketoacidosis. What do? They end up in an emergency room somewhere. They get admitted to the hospital, very high cost centers. Unless, of course, they go to Cat Rock, but very high cost centers and very expensive for the patient. And that gets passed on to all of us and all of society that potentially we could have solved with a $10 donation, which to help that family so that they can stay out of that situation. Take those funds that they did have and devote it to that medication instead.
So if I don't think about child abuse, I'm never going to diagnose child abuse. If I didn't learn about child abuse, had the signs and what to look for, how to check it out, I won't ever diagnose it. It's the same thing with hunger and with food insecurity. If I don't think about that as a clinician, I'm never going to see it. Through screening and intervene, we take providers and help them know what to look for.
Food distribution is one way to handle feeding. Well, this is about backing that up. Right? What if we could help somebody gain the resources to where they were able to provide the food that their family needed?
People in need of food assistance have multiple problems, not just one. Michelle had employment issues. She had out-of-pocket medical expenses that came from her previous job. She had an education gap. She very much had a goal in life and knew that she needed to continue her education in order to reach her goal, and yet didn't have the funds for it.
A staggering 54 billion pounds of food is wasted in our homes every year. 54 billion pounds. The Brazos Valley Food Bank works with Feeding Texas and Feeding America to help reduce waste and get precious food to those who need it most. The food bank must maintain 6 trucks needed for receiving and delivering food. This includes maintenance, gasoline, insurance, and repairs. The food bank, as you also heard, has a state-of-the-art cooler and freezer, but it too requires maintenance and also utilizes a lot of energy.